Real Nerds is a proud partner of the Denver Podcast Network. In the shadow of the mountains, we speak.
How would you define the Mile High Hustle?
Well, I don't know what that is. Please tell me.
Denver's changed a great deal over the past 30 years. 10 years. 5 years. Heck, I've noticed some new things pop up since last month. But if you look a little closer, you can see growing businesses, new ideas, and interesting people making these changes happen. So here it is, a podcast about the businesses, ideas, and people shaping Denver today. And we're calling it
Mile High Hustle.
Mile High Hustle.
Mile High Hustle.
The Mile High Hustle is the grind.
Working your ass off and networking like crazy in like the real way.
They work like crazy so they can get the weekend off to go skiing.
I think it's something different than what's going on in places like Silicon Valley.
The breaks are better in Colorado.
Every other week in the lead up to Denver Startup Week, the largest free entrepreneurial event of its kind, we're releasing a new episode to help you navigate this dynamic new business landscape. How would you define the Mile High Hustle?
You know, when I think the word hustle, I think about how hard it is to work to do anything that you've never done before or that no one's done before. Colorado continues to lead the nation in innovation and in change.
Mile High Hustle, the Denver Startup Week podcast, is being directed by Denver Startup Week, hosted by myself, Paul Caroli, and produced by House of Pod. Episode 1 is coming on June 25th. Subscribe now and find it wherever you listen to your podcasts. I appreciate you taking the time, Governor.
Well, good luck with your hustle.
Okay.
Oh, hi, podcast listeners. There's many ways you can listen to the Real Nerds podcast. You can subscribe on iTunes. You can also subscribe on Stitcher Radio. You want to send us a Twitter message? You can do that. It's so easy, at Real Nerds. Like us on Facebook, Real Nerds Podcast. You can visit our website, realnerdspodcast.com, where there'll be a lot of articles for you to not only read, but to listen to our previous shows. You can also call us, 720-6nerds5. Thanks for listening, and enjoy the show.
Howdy, Real Nerds listeners. Zach here. One quick note about this week's show. Brad and James were not present for the recording, so I took over recording duties, and as expected, something went wrong because I'm terrible. The first 4 minutes of the show were lost due to a issue with the SD card, so you do not get the intro for Corinne and Ryan and myself. But you've heard us on the show before, so odds are you already recognize our voices. If you don't, Ryan is the one that's speaking the loudest, I am the one that's speaking the most timidly, and Corinne is the one that's speaking softly but assuredly. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy this week's episode on Christopher Robin.
I'm Andre Gower.
And I'm Ryan Lambert.
And you're listening to
Real Nerds Podcast.
You're good to go.
Yeah, now we're good.
This is why I don't like directors. They always try to, stop me from doing stuff, and I'm ready. I've been ready since first call. I am ready. Roll.
Ryan, just because you're ready doesn't mean you expose yourself to the entire crew to prove it.
That's from Pee-wee's Big Adventure, from the little bratty kid.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody? Is this on?
Yeah.
So every week on Real Nerds Podcast, we go see a new movie and we podcast our experience of the world. This week we saw Christopher Robin. I almost said Winnie the Pooh.
A.K.A. Crying the movie.
Oh, fuck.
I did not cry.
No?
You're a inhuman monster.
I was honestly surprised. I had Kleenexes in my purse. I was prepared, and then I didn't cry.
You know, me, I'm sitting in a row all by myself because I saw it really early in the morning. Sometimes I have to because of my wife and I's schedule. So I ran there, and I'm like, I don't know if Kellen can sit through this because it's more of a drama. After seeing it, he'd probably really like it. Yeah. But I'm sitting in a row all by myself, and there's a moment in the movie, I'll talk about it later, that I'm just like, no, I'm not crying. And all these, I look like a goofball. But
speak for yourself. We'll talk about it. Sometimes I felt like I was seeing it through a watery filter. So
I'm the one who didn't cry.
I know. It says a lot about us, doesn't it?
It does.
You're a robot.
Yes, I am.
Yes. So
You're a monster.
Only great quote from Shrek nowadays.
So stay tuned to the end of the show. We're going to say if you see the movie, not play the trailer, then spoil it, because you can spoil this movie, actually.
Oh, yeah.
And
in the meantime, we're going to eat snacks.
Yeah. I love Corinne. She always brings snacks.
Shit, it's the 90s. She's got...
pretty sure, like, you brought us enough snacks one time that lasted us, like, a month.
Yeah,
we got fruit by the foot,
brought
which is my favorite.
box because I thought there would be more of you here.
I know. What a bunch of yahoos. Actually, I was going to bring this up. I'm going to apologize to people that are expecting Real Nerds episodes and our interviews from Denver Comic Con. Everything in our personal lives have kind of overlapped these last couple months. So James got married, and then Brad is also working not only on a feature, but he's not here this week because he's shooting another 48-hour film, which for those who don't know, he has 48 hours to make a movie. So it's all overlapped and made it crazy. Episodes do exist. These interviews do exist, and we will put them up as soon as our personal lives settle down. And also, if you listen to the show enough, you know I've only been on one time in the last, 4 weeks. I know everybody's missed me. I've seen the Twitter. The total engagements have been down since I haven't been here.
You should have seen the streets of Denver. There were protests all over.
There was.
I thought at first it was just because of what's going on in the news, but
no.
It's all we want Ryan.
I know, and I'm finally here to quell the uprising.
I thought it was a little too much when they kept yelling Attica, but
dude, that'd be sweet if I was like
Al Pacino just throwing money into the street. And then it looks like you only threw a little bit, but it's actually a lot, like a cannon. It goes boom.
I gotta tell you, I'm throwing tons of money.
You had a lighter voice back then.
I guess.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to. I can't do Pacino at all, except for
older Pacino,
his Devil's Advocate Pacino, where he's way over the top the whole time.
It's also Scent of a Woman Pacino too.
You think?
It's kind of,
but he's so over the top in Devil's Advocate. I can't. I can't do any other just normal Pacino. It's always over the top. I can't do just, hey, look at me, I'm 70s Pacino. Dog Day Afternoon. I can't do it.
The Godfather, Serpico.
Yeah, those movies. The apex of Pacino.
I just hope in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood he's doing calm Pacino, because that'd be awesome. Because it seems like the character he's supposed to be playing is...
Where is Manson? What character is he playing in that?
He's playing I think he's playing the rancher who owned the ranch that Manson's cult hung out on.
Interesting movie.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We love seeing movies at Alamo Drafthouse. Here's what's playing at the Alamo Drafthouse in the month of August.
Hello. Hi, I'm Kevin Smith. Hi, I'm Leonard Maltin.
Hi, I'm Mark Hamill.
Hi, I'm Elijah Wood.
This is Seth Rogen.
I'm Christopher Mintz-Plasse.
I'm Ron Starr.
Welcome to the Alamo Drafthouse.
Tell me more.
Well, Rocky's going to be there.
Oh, goddamn, the Stallone filter.
You know?
Brad didn't tell me how to turn it off before he left.
So they're showing all 7 films of Rocky, so that includes Creed. When does Creed 2 come out? Is it October?
November.
Is it November?
Yeah, I think the only...
when I was on here last.
I think the reason they're doing it in August and into September possibly is because they've got stuff planned for September, and then October's all horror themed.
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
then November's quiet. So
my goal this year is to make it to Dismember.
I would love to
in October at Alamo.
I just gotta it's all a matter of work. I black out that month.
I know, right? So they're also showing all the Indiana Jones films. You should really watch Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. It's better than people say it is. It is better than people think it is.
Yeah, but Harrison Ford is old.
So he's awesome.
Sad.
Where's my gold, Indy?
Yeah.
Where's my
gold?
gold?
When he was
young and hot. My mom has a hugest crush on Harrison Ford.
When he was River Phoenix?
No, when
you could see it for 15 minutes in The Last Crusade.
When he, my mom thought he was so hot in Raiders of the Lost Ark and Regarding Henry. So you know, some J.J. Abrams' first movie. You know,
no, it's not that. It's
it's a bad movie.
It's the two films that you don't pair side by side. Like,
and she loved The Witness. I think that's a older person favorite of Harrison Ford is.
Well, yeah,
Witness.
they get. I mean, the hot and heaviest it gets is when she's taking her bath.
I know. Well, I remember that scene.
Yeah,
I was talking about the barn raising, getting hot and heavy, but what do I know?
Well, that is hot and heavy too, but he sneaks in on that gal taking a sponge bath.
That's right. The Amish. How does an Amish fireplace work? Voodoo.
Apologies to the Amish community.
They're never going to hear this.
Yeah, exactly, but just in case.
Because, it's
Rumspringer's near.
plugged in, but it gives off heat. Very, very cool.
Maybe they've learned to just say, whenever we feel like it.
Anyways, that's what's playing at the Alamo Drafthouse. I didn't say what we do. We also talk about movies that are coming out on Blu-ray, movie news, and what we've been watching. I have a lot of what I've been watching. I've been gone for so long. My only episode that I was here at was our Film Splosion, which, by the way, I also got to say thanks. That was the most participated Film Splosion in emails and Facebook stuff that I've gotten in a long time.
Yeah.
98 seems to be right around our target audience or something.
It's also going to be our most controversial episode when it goes up. Cause
Zach.
Yeah, I haven't heard it, obviously, so I'm assuming you guys read the email I sent.
Yeah. We did.
We did.
That's
not why
we
we're
didn't judge you. No, we judged Zach.
Yeah.
Because Zach is dumb. But
So
this one's gonna be afterwards. So Zach
picked
Saving Private Ryan at number 5, which is really low, and so we gave him crap for that. But number 4 was The Faculty.
No, 4 was Out of Sight. 3 was The Faculty.
Oh yeah, 3 was The Faculty.
Yeah.
I've never seen. I mean, I've seen Saving Private Ryan, but I've never seen The Faculty.
So it's okay if you. So here's the thing: Saving Private Ryan should be higher, but that you put The Faculty above it, you kind of lose your argument for a list being top 10 of anything.
Okay, so I guess I'm always confused. Is Film Splosion supposed to be like the best movies?
No,
of
what
the
we
year,
think.
or?
What we think.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with
like
anybody
your
else.
Or favorite movies of the year?
Yeah.
Yeah, just like stuff you like to rewatch or like you really appreciate and whatnot.
Somewhat in Zach's defense, because again, I've never seen The Faculty. Saving Private Ryan is a good movie, but it is so hard to watch because it's so brutal and violent. And
I'm going to eat
sad.
fruit by the foot and pretend I'm not listening to you.
No, actually,
I mean, it's kind of like Schindler's List, right? Like, it's,
yeah, but
it's just,
a Schindler's List, 93?
93, yeah.
So,
Glory. Like, I own Glory, but I've only ever seen it once because it was just sad.
Well, that you're wrong.
I'm going to eat some fruit by the foot. Thanks, Corinne. No, everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Yeah.
But when your
Except for
opinion's
mine.
wrong, I'm going to make fun of you for it.
Everyone's entitled to their wrong opinion.
Exactly. Is that what we're on right now?
Yeah.
It's just, here's the thing I always look at, too. Is not only should the movie be enjoyable, and I get it. Like, I have freaking Dead Man on Campus on my list and Almost Heroes. I get it. Not great films. But those are fun, and they're at the bottom of my list. When you put a movie that's not very well made and a movie that's maybe like the greatest war movie ever made, I just have a hard time buying your list.
I didn't even put Saving Private Ryan on my list, so
That's true. She did not. So
either did Henry.
Yeah, that was actually kind of weird, but I thought it was one of those things where it would be on everyone's list.
I mean, granted, I didn't see it in 1998. So
yeah,
it doesn't scream 1998 to me in the same
that's
way
fine.
that, like,
it screams timeless. That's for sure.
So for me, when I was doing the 98 list, I was in high school. So a lot of mine. So I think number 3 for me is The Wedding Singer, because I saw that the most in theaters that day that year, and I think it's a great movie. But I think a lot of times when you do nostalgic film explosions, you go back to thinking of what's good for you at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff you're going to continuously watch. And I just give Zach crap because it's fun.
Yeah, no, yeah.
But, I mean, he's wrong, but it's still fun.
Actually, because you weren't here last week, but I rewatched it because I picked up the 4K. I mean, I can only watch the Blu-ray, but whatever.
Saving Private Ryan
or
Faculty?
No, the 4K of the Faculty.
I have the Faculty Scream, or is it on Shout? I think it's Shout.
I checked the company on that link you gave me. It's actually Mill Creek.
Is it?
Yeah. Because they have that Blu-ray and digital.
Do I own the Faculty? I'm pretty sure I do.
But anyway, like, I rewatched it, and like I conceded that I probably should have put it up a couple more spaces at the very least, just because it is that amazing. I hadn't watched it in 2 years prior to that rescreening, but I knew I wanted it on the list. So, yeah. But I can't wait to get a 4K TV because I want to watch that movie on 4K because it probably looks even more amazing.
Yeah, sometimes movies do.
Sometimes one. See, that's the thing. After you telling me about Jurassic Park, I'm weary about some of the 4Ks I got. Not the one that I got from work, though.
So, yeah. Here's the thing: is when you're Jurassic Park in 4K does look better, but it's not a showpiece one. You're not going to. The audio is amazing,
right?
But you're not going to say, "Oh, look at what this film can do."
Yeah,
being And I'll talk about a movie that came out in '98 that surprised me. Was it '98? Maybe '97. But I'll talk about it later. That I got on 4K that is amazing on 4K. And it's a Sony movie, so I think maybe Sony is better at it because the Patriot looks stunning on 4K.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jurassic Park.
Is it You've Got Mail?
No. I do love that movie. It didn't make it to my top 10, but it's one of it is a great movie.
The remake of The Shop Around the Corner that we all needed.
Yes. So this is movie news.
It's real news.
Alrighty. Actually, a lot happened this week for, like, at least the Star Wars community, because we got a bunch of announcements about the cast and also the fate of Carrie Fisher. So they did put out a press release with the actual, like, cast of, like, who's returning, and it's revealed that Luke Skywalker is going to be back. Mark Hamill's in the cast list,
Force Ghost,
along with pretty much everyone that's already been announced, including Carrie Russell's role. And then Carrie Fisher's last appearance in Star Wars will be via footage that was shot for The Force Awakens, but unused.
It's a great article because off the Hollywood Reporter, they interviewed her son and her daughter, and they allowed them to do it because they weren't going to do it at first. But JJ made the argument that he wanted to finish her story. How they're going to do it, I don't know.
He shot insurance footage, didn't he? Just in case.
Just in case.
Oh, no, it's like an Ed Wood when he's like, Bela Lugosi. Well, isn't he dead? Yes, but I got the last footage he ever shot. Cool. Guys, remember when...
And honestly, she deserves to be in it.
Yes. No, I agree. I think that's the only way to, like, even remotely approach that subject.
Because, I mean, if you kill her off screen, it's...
Yeah, I think that's tougher to swallow than... I mean, she's obviously passed away in real life, but...
Right.
Yeah, because it's like something
it's like you would get it, but at the same time, it's just...
unfulfilled.
Sad.
Yeah.
She's such a huge part
Oh,
of
yeah.
the
And I
story.
think in The Last Jedi, I think she's the heart of that movie. So...
Well, this was supposed to be her movie.
Yeah.
9 was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of how, 7 was Han Solo and 8 was Luke's, and this was supposed to be
Chewie,
hers.
it's my movie. Sorry.
Nope.
It's not that good. I know. Moving on, though, because if we go too long on Star Wars, people will send us hate mail.
Really?
Yeah, because that's what all the fans do nowadays.
I thought you meant like when I was on last.
No.
And
Just.
we went, did you hear that, Ryan, when we went off on a tangent and then midichlorians?
Oh, we tried to like figure out why everyone's pissy, but we got no answers.
There's so many answers.
I mean, we have answers. It's just no one's satisfied with them.
Hey, don't eat the paper, okay? Fruit by the foot just educated me.
Fuck. Oh god.
I haven't had those in years. Thanks,
Ryan. I got to go to the hospital.
When I was younger, we used to like see if we could eat the whole thing at once. I don't think I could do that now, even though they're pretty delicious.
I used to eat them like a cinnamon roll.
I once saw him eat electrical tape right off the roll. He thought it was a fruit by the foot that had gone bad.
Well, good news.
Him, Ryan.
Good news. Now there's a warning. I won't do that anymore.
Did you get my reference?
No. What's your reference?
Oh, it's The Good Place.
Oh, man, you're busting that out. That's good stuff. My brain's been clogged because
We'll talk about it later.
I've been watching a lot of Alf.
Yeah, that'll clog your brain.
Dun, 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 dun,
Ryan,
Zach,
how are you
continue.
doing? That's not a good Alf. Moving on, though. Remember they were going to make a Die Hard Year 1?
Mm-hmm.
Well, apparently we got some news that it's moving forward with a script. It's going to feature a young Holly Gennaro, and Bruce Willis is going to help cast young John McClane. Cool. I kind of don't care, but I wanted to bring it up because it is Die Hard. What?
Unless he's just doing like cop stuff.
Yeah,
Or
I
is
don't.
it supposed to take place like a year after Die Hard?
Well, no, if they call it year 1, I guess he's a rookie.
It could be. You know what would be awesome if it was a case that he did early on in his career that established like how tough he could be, but it also got away from him, and then the bookend is old Bruce Willis taking care of finishing it. So like it starts with that, ends with old, starts with old, ends with old, all in the middle. So it's like I don't know, an artsy Die Hard. We already tried dumb Die Hard with the last one. Why not artsy this time?
Yeah, I guess just as long as it's not Jay Courtney, huh?
Excuse me, it's Captain Boomerang.
Right.
Ryan, this is just for you and us. Did you see the trailer for Puppet Master: The Littlest Reich?
I did not. I'm not a big Puppet Master fan.
This looks ridiculous, and I already heard it described by some of the guys on Shockwaves, and just seeing the footage that matches up with it. Like, I've never been a big Puppet Master fan either, but
I am a Charles Band fan because. Not because he makes great films, but because he knows he doesn't make great films. He's like, you know what? I'm making these movies anyways.
He's like that. Like, not another Ed Wood reference, but he is like that guy who's making the sex change film.
Don't eat the paper.
He's like, I don't make burning passion stories from people who want to tell their stories. I make crap.
But I am in the early '90s. He did do a called Full Moon Features, and I love the Subspecies series, and Castle Freak is pretty good.
I'm fairly sure those are probably all available now on his streaming service.
I have all the Subspecies on Blu-ray.
Oh, I guess you don't need to worry about that.
I don't do streaming because I do some things streaming, like Alf. But as far as movies go, I don't like streaming them.
Right.
I hate when the bit rate goes down.
You know,
it drives me crazy.
While you would never do it, though, you should listen to an interview he did with those Shockwaves people from Blumhouse about how he got the streaming service going and how it operates.
Oh yeah, no,
it's insane.
If people, I'm probably gonna get the Disney one. I'm not gonna lie, because if it's gonna have all the Disney movies, all the TV shows, and I mean, when I was younger, Disney used to be a premium channel. I know I'm older than you, so you probably don't remember this, but it used to be a premium channel where it didn't have commercials, and you had to pay for it. And my grandparents are the only people that had the Disney Channel, so I used to go over there all the time and watch Kids Incorporated, all the goofy, like the new Mickey Mouse Club, and I used to love that stuff. So I'm really hoping that stuff makes its way back on there, so I can watch it once and be like, "What's wrong with me as a kid? This stuff sucks." But at the same time, it's still available. And if they make all the cartoons, that's what I really want.
Yeah,
like, I want to. I mean, I have Darkwing Duck on DVD.
You would know better than anyone. Is there a restored version of Disney's Halloween Treat with that trippy '90s intro and that silly song?
No. So. I just hope that it's available. Yeah. I mean, right now, so my Disney Movie Club, one of the exclusives is there's like a Darkwing Duck Christmas that I've never seen, that I want to get, but it's only available on DVD. And they also have like Ben and Me. I don't remember the old cartoon with the little mouse that helps Ben Franklin that I used to love. So I hope that stuff makes its way on there. But streaming, if people like it, good for them.
Awesome. Moving on, remember when we were going to get 2 Jungle Book movies at once, and then we didn't? Well, Andy Serkis's Jungle Book movie is now going to Netflix.
Yeah, it looked like garbage. It did. I wasn't.
Yeah,
I wasn't impressed with the trailer.
Well, I'm still interested to see how it all looks, but I would have rather seen it in a theater because I'm sure that mocap would look better in a theater than it probably would.
I mean, once it's been on the shelf for 2 years,
it has. Because they was supposed to release in 2016.
Well, it's just like, what other movie they do that with is pretty big.
Well, not Cloverfield Paradox.
Yeah, Cloverfield Paradox.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's supposed to come out, and then I don't know how much Warner Brothers sold it for. I mean, and I don't understand what. I guess they just have it for content. I mean, I don't know how many people are going to jump on Netflix like, oh, I got to get Netflix this month because they have Mowgli.
I heard Matt Damon plays a parrot or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll see. I mean, I'll give it a chance. I like Andy Serkis a lot. I think that it's a shame that no one recognizes how great he is in the Planet of the Apes movies on a wider scale. I appreciate. I mean, his performance in War is stunning, and he should definally have an Oscar.
Did you see his directorial debut, Breathe, with Andrew Garfield? It's actually really good. It's kind of like a melodrama. Like, so it wasn't going to, like, push anybody's boundaries or buttons, but it's pretty solid entertainment.
Did he put Andrew Garfield in a mocap suit?
No one
Turn
can.
the tables on
No one can mocap.
He's a mocap lung. That's why it's called Breathe, guys.
Oh, I think I did see a preview for that.
Yeah. I saw it, and I thought it was going to be, like, some kind of awards contender, and then I never saw it in the theater. It was the same with Goodbye Christopher Robin that year, too. But I've seen it pop up on streaming sites, and I'm probably gonna peep it out again at some point. But I remember it being like really good when I finally like rented it on Amazon. But now it's like getting to those free streamings. Ben Affleck and Matt Damon purchased a Monopoly heist movie story.
Hey, I'll watch it. So Argo isn't 100% like accurate at all.
Doesn't
but
matter.
He knows how to make a really cool movie.
Oh, Argo's
if he directs and writes it, I'm down.
Yeah, and I want.
He's one of those guys who doesn't get a lot of credit for how great of a filmmaker he is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously he won an Oscar, but I mean, as far as general people are concerned, because I think he's pretty great as an actor and a director.
Oh, I agree.
What was his last movie that he directed? It was Fly by Night or
Live
something?
by Night. Yeah, which I maintain is not as bad.
No.
As the critics said it was, but I will admit it is flawed.
Yeah, actually, I have the Blu-ray. I got it for like $3 on a Black Friday sale.
I got it for $2 at Second Spin when it closed.
Yes, it's still in the cellophane, sitting on my shelf.
Oh, it's not still in my cellophane.
But so I made this deal with my wife that I'd make a bigger, concerning effort to rewatch films. That's why you can go onto realnerdspodcast.com and read the Scream Factory Crypt to rewatch films and
justify their existence.
Justify their existence, because my wife, not that she's like telling me I can't do stuff, but she's like, how many of these movies have you even seen twice? So it's basically like, I'll show you. I'll watch all these movies twice, and then I have to get up wanting to do it.
See that.
Yeah.
Like when I saw The Last Jedi for the first time, I was just kind of like, huh? And then I, saw it again later, and it helped me to process it a lot better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas when I went with friends again to see it, and they came out and they were like, I don't know if I really like that movie, and I'm like, go see it again. I think after the second time, you will appreciate it more.
I already know one of movies that's still in my top 10 that will probably end up on my Film Explosion, Red Sparrow this year. A lot of guys hated it. I mean, I think I'm the only one who liked it on the podcast.
Yeah.
And I watched it again. I'm like, I don't know what they've seen. I think it's pretty fun. Well, fun's a bad word.
Yeah.
But I think it's a pretty entertaining spy movie. And watching it again, yeah, it's brutal and it's really mean, but I kind of like movies like that. And so I'll be watching it again before my Film Explosion week. It's actually starting getting pretty close to my Film Explosion compiling of a list, because I go back and watch tons of movies and see where they sit. When I didn't have a kid, I remember I posted on Facebook 5 years ago. I literally have stacks of movies and I would just watch them to see where they land. But now I have a kid, I can't watch Red Sparrow with him around.
Why not?
Well, not that I don't think he would. It's more so that he would not be
I'm not
confused.
He'd just get annoyed because it's really slow moving, and he's like, "Dude,
I think there's nudity and
Meh.
sex.
Oh, you think there's nudity in that movie?
Helen, look away.
Let me reassure you, there is nudity in that movie.
I don't care about this.
There's a lot of awkward boobs, not necessarily sad boobs, awkward boobs.
Yeah. Anyways,
but anyway, yeah.
My parents always just covered my eyes during that kind of.
My dad never. There's only one movie I remember vividly where my dad's like, "Don't watch this." It's Predator 2, where before the Predator shows up and kills all those drug lords, and that chick's totally railing that guy. And that's the only time my dad said, "Don't watch this." But he never really said anything to me besides that. I used to rent, Child's Play and Friday the 13th all the time. Look at me, I turned out normal. Ish.
That's a relative term.
Yeah.
But anyway, the Monopoly movie, really quick. I'm down for this. The story it's based on sounds really interesting because I remember those Monopoly games, and they were.
Well, what I always hope for, because when I saw The Big Short, or what it was about, that doesn't look that fun. But when you see the movie, you go, this movie's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So hopefully it'll be something like that.
Yeah. You remember the Monopoly game at McDonald's? At one point, they had Best Buy Bucks.
I don't remember.
They would have $1, $5, $10, and I collected that shit, and that's how I built part of my first DVD collection.
I was never a big McDonald's guy.
Oh, I was.
I can. Yep.
Yeah.
Don't know last time I went there. Not there's anything wrong. I don't have anything wrong with. I don't care what people do, but I've never been that guy.
I just wanted Best Buy Bucks. And now I just want McDonald's. Lastly, because it relates to our movie of the week, Christopher Robin won't be released in China because China's president's angry.
Because people say he looks like poo.
Yeah, John Oliver does a really funny segment on that, and he's continued it where he puts a side-by-side picture of Winnie the Pooh and China's president and goes, I can't tell the difference.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it's not the first censorship problem Disney's had within the past couple of years.
And with China, I mean, they control everything. So,
and then they had other issues with, I think, the second Guardians movie or one of them or something with the content issue. But anyway, that's news.
Go America.
At least as far as I can tell.
Did you talk about Movie Pass last week?
Yes, we did. But there is an update on that. It was that they they are now no longer doing first run.
And they also raised the price to $14.95.
Yeah, which sure it's cheaper than.
I mean, that's not a bad deal, but
it's less stable than AMC Stubs List.
Yeah, I don't think that business model is going to serve.
No, it can't because
they have to succeed though. Because I want Gotti too.
I mean, I think they went about it wrong, and I think their rollout and constant changing of the terms was really clumsy.
Yeah,
and I think it just turned a lot of people off because,
especially during the summer.
Yeah. Exactly, and because
it's so frustrating. Because I know a lot of people, like I did. You know, when I went to see Fallout, I was like, "Why can't I pull it up on my Movie Pass?"
Mm-hmm.
And I was finally like, "Well, I mean, I'm already here. I'm just gonna buy the ticket."
And you're glad you did.
Yeah.
But seriously, I want Gotti too. Gotti got you back.
Okay.
It's just John Travolta doing that like finger bang thing there, like a finger guns. That's it. Yeah, not what I said before. Because that was dirty. Anyway, that's news.
Thanks, Zach, for putting that image in my head.
Yeah, now we can never get out
I was
of
thinking
it.
of a South Park episode. I'm sorry.
So this is what's coming out on Blu-ray this week.
DVD releases and Blu-rays.
And Ultra 4K. Every time I see stuff like Ultra or Extreme, I just think of late 90s when they use like X's to describe it or something like that.
Here, Ryan, have a power sauce bar. It's on the house.
Quite a bit of cool things are coming out. Predator is getting a 4K release. It's also getting a 4K trilogy collection.
Ooh.
So that's the one I'm getting with all three movies. They don't include the AVP movies, which is okay.
Yeah. Requiem's fun. Or funner.
Yeah. See, you know what's funny is a lot of people don't like that one as much.
Really?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it more because it's more violent.
Yeah, maybe that's why I like it.
Also coming out from Scream Factory is we are getting a John Carpenter made-for-TV movie called Someone to Watch Me.
Oh,
Someone's watching me.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is. They're also going to be getting some more John titles. So
yeah, really soon. I think it's next week.
We get Starman soon. Not soon, but next year. I think.
Yeah.
Because they did a huge ass announcement.
Yeah, so they already did In the Mouth of Madness, which is I wish I watched it this week, but I didn't have time.
Yeah, we'll probably be doing that next week.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, Someone's Watching Me. I've never seen. I might wait till it goes down in price a little bit, but the problem with some of these Scream Factory stuff, if they're not their popular titles, they never go down in price.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. I heard it's not bad.
I've never seen his TV movies outside of the Elvis one, so I'd need to acquire that and the other one.
Also coming out on the horror front is actually one of my favorite horror films that takes place in Colorado. It's called The Changeling with George C. Scott, and it's a haunted house. It's on near Cheeseman Park.
Who got that one?
It is...
Wait, it's set there or it was filmed there?
It's set there. Well, it's a true story, and it was filmed there, I believe. Oh, no, I'm not 100% sure, but this I got the deluxe edition, and it comes with... the whole story about it, so I'll let you know next week.
Okay.
It's a great movie, and it has actually a pretty great seance scene in it. Up there with, I don't know if you've ever seen The Uninvited. It's pretty close to I think it's better than The Uninvited, but kind of the same vein.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a great film. If you, there's two versions of it too. So I'm getting the.
It's a changeling.
Ooh. I'm
Violet.
getting. I'm getting the Super Deluxe Edition, which comes with the soundtrack, which I don't even know if I even want it, but is $5 more. And I was like, yeah, why not? It also comes in like a hard slip cover case. But there's a standard edition as well that comes with all the Blu-ray special features.
Driving down the road, catching people speeding while you're
yes.
listening to the Changeling soundtrack.
Now you know.
Severin's doing it.
Severin puts out good Blu-rays.
No, they do. I was just wondering because like there's always like everyone tries to get something, whether it's Arrow or Kino Lobo or something like that. I always like seeing who gets what.
Yeah.
How they're doing Candyman with Scream is pretty awesome because the UK is getting
the Arrow one.
Arrow's getting UK, but they shared money on getting the
because they do because they're called Red Shirt Productions. There's a lot of the people that do the documentaries.
Yeah.
No. Star Trek.
I guess they all die eventually.
Also, The Death of Superman is coming out from DC Animated.
The Steelbook looks neat from Best Buy.
Yeah. There's supposed to be a Steelbook, too, of The Predator at Best Buy, but I never saw it, so I just ordered it off Amazon.
I don't know. I can never trust their ad anymore.
Right. Revenge is the movie. I actually really want to see it.
Brad
saw it and described it, and I kind of nodded off when he described it because he got in like really specific detail.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brad. Also, Macamee from Shout is coming out.
Collector's Edition.
Collector's Edition was a really goofy, late 80s, early 90s. I don't remember anything about it. I know I've seen it. Basically capitalizing on E.T.
My favorite Macamee thing ever is every time Paul Rudd, or most times when Paul Rudd goes on Conan O'Brien's show and is asked to play a clip, he plays a clip from Macamee where a kid in a wheelchair falls down a cliff.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
then it's really funny, and just seeing how Conan reacts to it each time it's wonderful YouTube stuff. Look up Macamee Paul Rudd.
Mill Creek is releasing. They're starting to do this a lot. Is the complete series of Happy Endings, which I heard is a really great sitcom. That was only 2 seasons and it ended really fast. I'm getting the Mill Creek's Community Blu-ray set, which I'm a little concerned about because sometimes Mill Creek doesn't put out the best stuff,
but it's cheap.
But it's listed at 100, and right now on Amazon it's $50. So I'm hoping that they maybe put effort into it. We'll see. Melissa McCarthy's Life of the Party is also coming out.
I actually want to see that one. It's not like
the one where she goes back to college.
Yeah, because I like movies like that.
You know what? I liked it more when it was called
Back to School,
starring Robert Downey Jr.
But like sincerely, like I love those movies like where old people are like, "I'm going back to college."
So like a Goofy movie too.
Yes.
Oh, are you kidding? An extremely goofy movie has a wonderful disco
which
scene.
is a Disney Movie Club exclusive. If you want to get it, not Blu-ray.
Damn.
Yeah.
They can't even do the first one either.
Riverdale is also coming out. I think it's going to be the 2nd season.
Cool. Check that show out. It's a lot better than you might think it is.
Yeah, you did the panel with
AJ Kappa.
Dude.
Or KJ Appa, yeah. AJ. I can't even remember the guy's name anymore.
Oh, I think there's the Steelbook. I finally see it. It's all right. I think the actual other one's cooler. So the 4K for the standard release of it is like this red moon kind of looking thing, and all the different predators standing in front of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's badass. The Steelbook looks like pop art.
Nice.
Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything. Talks amongst yourselves.
Corinne.
Is that a spider on the wall?
Yes, I've been breeding him in hopes that one day he'll bite. Ryan.
I get first bit.
Because you see, if he
dibs on biting.
If the spider bites Ryan and he becomes Spider-Man, then I can grow a mustache and get gray hair, and I can wear suspenders, and I can yell at Ryan and go, Parker! I have dreams, Corinne. They'll never get fulfilled.
I love this.
It's probably just a spider.
Great meme where it's like, what is it? What do I want? Pictures of what? Spider-Man! And it's really funny. And someone put a funny meme out today where it's the, have you seen the new Venom trailer?
No, I still haven't, no.
So there's a part in it where Eddie Brock, like, removes the Venom part, and I don't care what he says. But someone put a meme where this Venom's hand goes on this dude's shoulder, and it's Tobey Maguire. And he's like, "What do you want?" And then it takes it parts Mr. Dickovich, and it's like Rent. That's pretty funny.
That's my favorite Black Panther meme from the Avengers Infinity War trailer. Like, get this man his rent. But yeah,
yes.
I'm not seeing anything else. But like on the Blu-ray film of Scream Factory, and Shout announced a bunch of stuff. They're putting The Jerk out on Shout Select. I'm excited.
Are they? Oh yeah,
and Carl Reiner and Steve Martin apparently did some new special features for it.
It should be fun. Their Shout Select stuff is great.
Oh yeah, and they're doing Legally Blonde 1 and 2, so my sister will have something to finally own that's Shout related. She loves those movies.
Yes.
The first one's good. Second one's meh.
I don't remember.
I enjoyed that first one enough because it was a family watch.
Seen the first one?
No, I've seen it. I don't remember anything about it.
Oh, I thought you said you hadn't seen it.
No, I remember Reese Witherspoon has a really pointy chin. That's what I remember from it. It's a joke. No one else gets it. My mother-in-law, that's all she ever says when you bring up Reese Witherspoon. She says, why is her chin so pointy?
I just thought you were referring to that Family Guy joke when they use her chin to open a safe. That's why I was just like, is Seth MacFarlane paying you?
I love Seth MacFarlane.
I do too.
Very talented. You should get his jazz albums. Pretty good.
Yeah, and A Million Ways to Die in the West. Not as bad as you think.
Nope, funny.
Yeah,
I'll watch it.
So anyway,
again,
Blu-rays?
Laura. Yeah, that's it for Blu-rays. This is what we've been watching this week.
So, yeah, this is the stuff we've been watching.
I always I don't know if I've ever explained why I always do this when I say what we've been watching. So, a long time ago when Conan O'Brien was on the Late Late Show with Conan O'Brien, I used to record them all because I was in school. Mm-hmm. And I'd go back, and he used to have a segment called Guests We'll Never Have Back. And he used to have this graphic that was kind of like an oval that went across the stage, and he'd always pet it. And guess we'll never have back.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
One of my favorites was they had a guy who designed erotic cakes, and so these aren't real; they're just skits. Oh. And so he's like, so a guy says, "Look at this one," and it's all blurred out. He says, "Well, we can't show that one." He says, "I also have this one called Ass Cake," and he pulls it out, and it's this beautiful cake. And Conan sticks his finger in it, the frosting. Is like, "Why do they call it Ass Cake?" And he's like, "Bleh!" And it's because it tastes like ass. Funny stuff.
Oh my God.
Eh.
Incidentally,
Simpsons Conan.
Incidentally, with Conan, Ryan, if you haven't looked it up, look up the ghost that haunts their studio that sings terrible old timey radio tunes.
Love it.
Scrabbity doo.
It has guests like Barney Brittlebones. So when he shakes his hand, all his hand bones in his hand. It's so dumb.
I mean, I enjoy Howard Stern's like back broadcast, but I enjoy Conan's characters more than I do Howard Stern's characters. In terms of who creates characters,
Conan's goofy. Like his.
That's where there's a reason
mid-90s to about early 2000s because he wasn't that popular.
He could just kind of do whatever he was
goofy.
Want. Yeah, he didn't really have a limit. But anyway.
Yep. What'd you watch this week, Corinne?
So I wanted to talk about a couple of the things I've been watching since I was on the show last.
Cool.
3 weeks ago.
Me too.
Yeah. So when I was on last time, Brad and Zach were telling me that they were half off Criterion at Barnes & Noble. So I had to go to Barnes & Noble like it was 2003. And
did you eventually find one?
I found things, but I didn't find any Criterion I like. I guess I didn't really know what Criterion was. I thought it was like, oh, here are all these cool old movies that are being preserved for posterity. And
it's like half of them.
I think I saw one Audrey Hepburn movie, and then there was like 10 Wes Anderson movies.
Yeah.
And I have no opinion of Wes Anderson because I've never seen his stuff.
There's also, Armageddon and The Rock. So, I mean,
they haven't put those on Blu-ray to be fair.
No, they haven't. But they also lie when it's like, this is about preserving quality films. Armageddon, debatable.
Well, they were starting at the time.
That's all right.
So, and then there were a lot of like weird foreign things. But I did find their AFI Top 100 section, and I got a Blu-ray of Casablanca because, of course, it was
movie's
like $13.
amazing. Oh, still
totally worth it.
Is it as cool as my $75 one that's sitting on the shelf? No,
nope.
It's
probably not.
But you still watch the movie, and you get the same enjoyment out of it.
Well, I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's beautiful on Blu-ray.
The other thing that I got that I did watch was North by Northwest on DVD for like
Cary Grant?
$5.
Hot damn.
That I had never seen.
Oh.
And I had heard about it because I remember I went to Mount Rushmore with my mom, and she's like, "Oh yeah, North by Northwest," and I'm like, "Never saw it, Mom. Whose fault is that?"
Still an effective spy thriller.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was really good. I had two problems with it. One was the ending, like that weird ass transition of like there's so much tension.
Spoilers for a 65-year-old movie.
Yeah, no crap. Like it's like, is he gonna help her get off? Like, how are they gonna get off Mount Rushmore? And then, nope, we're back to the bed in the train car, and he's helping her up onto the bed, and he's like, "Come here, Mrs. whatever their last name is," and then it was like, boom, movie over.
Just imagine Hitchcock looking down on heaven going, "Stop mocking my movie, young lady."
Oh, I will mock as much as I want to.
Yeah.
Original Alfred Hitchcock.
Good evening.
Yeah, I don't know, like, I guess.
It's a great movie.
Because I was watching it with a friend, and she had fallen asleep because she had a long day. But I was, like, trying to figure out, like, okay, how much is left in this movie? Because, like, it was the scene where he goes to the house before he climbs the balcony and all that. And I'm like, okay, so we've got, like, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes left. And I look, and it's like 8 to 10 minutes. Oh, what the hell? How are we going to wrap this up in 10 minutes?
Pacing is a lot different back then.
Yeah. It was really weird. So I really liked it, though, like, especially the first third where it was kind of like the lady vanishes, where it's this kind of like conspiracy theory of, like,
that's a great Criterion.
Am I making this up? Like, I know what happened, but nobody believes me, and all this kind of like weird paranoia sort of thing. And then the other problem I had with it, and this is just me, but criminal underuse of James Mason. Oh my gosh, he's only in 3 scenes.
Yes, I agree.
You don't get the man in Hollywood who has the sexiest voice of all time to only be in your movie for 3 scenes.
It's true. I really do have the sexiest voice.
Nope.
No.
James Mason.
That isn't even close to James Mason.
I was in Salem's Lot. No. You're right. This is bad.
Yeah,
Moving
it has
on.
to be deeper. It has to be like Anyway.
Yeah, it has to want people to listen to it, not repulse them.
Oh, that's true.
So, overall, good movie. I love Cary Grant.
Oh, my God. I've been on such a kick with him. I'll talk about it later.
Yeah. No, he's great.
Yeah.
So, something else I was watching that I was referencing earlier, The Good Place, again.
Good Place is great.
Yeah, I got season 1 on DVD. I rented it from the library because I wanted to see the extended edition.
Heck yeah.
There's only, like, 2 extra scenes per episode. And it's just like little things that they cut out to just for time.
I used to have all the Friends on DVD, and they would have extended episodes. And when I got it on Blu-ray, I just got rid of all my DVDs because it looks way better. But then they cut it back, the aired episodes. I'm like, oh man, I'm missing some jokes. But it is worth the trade-off because it comes in like a really nice book. And
it does have audio commentary from Mike Schur, one of the other executive producers, and 2 of the cast members on the first 2 episodes and the last 2 episodes of the season. And so I'm on the wait list to get season 2. Nice. I should be getting it here in a couple days.
Cool.
Nice.
So something else that I'm really sad James isn't here to talk about with me. I went to Ghibli Fest and I saw Princess Mononoke.
Nice.
Ooh.
And I had seen it before, but it had been a while. And I think I watched it on my phone. So seeing it on the big screen was incredible. And
the animation in those films is breathtaking.
Yeah, it's such a good movie, and really, I really wish James was here because I know he would probably want to fight me on this. I've said before on here that Howl's Moving Castle is my favorite Miyazaki movie that I've seen, and I've only seen like 6 of them. But I think I'm gonna have to change it to Princess Mononoke because I rewatched both. Because after I got out of Princess Mononoke, I'm like, this movie's so fucking good. I need to own it. Ryan would be proud of me. I bought it on Blu-ray.
Yes.
It's like one of 6 Blu-rays I own.
I am very proud of you.
I'm working on it. And then I also, when I was like buying it on Amazon, it popped up of like, here, you could also buy Howl's Moving Castle and Spirited Away. And I was like, I'll own Howl's Moving Castle. I haven't seen Spirited Away in a while, so I was like, I'll hold off on that one. But I got them both. And I rewatched Howl's Moving Castle also this week. And it's still such a great movie, and I still love it a ton. I think, honestly, I watched it in the Japanese with the English subtitles. And I think that the English voice actors actually do a better job than the Japanese ones.
Well, I will say this about the Miyazaki films is they get really great actors. I mean, I've only seen a few of them. Obviously, The Wind Rises for Emily Blunt. But also, I mean, I ordered it, and I just still saying on my thing, I really want to watch Porco Rosso. I don't know why, because
you like pigs in trench coats.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks funny to me, and it's Michael Keaton, so, you know.
Yeah, and I think that is maybe one of the things about Princess Mononoke that I feel could have been a little bit better, because some of the voice actors are kind of, Billy Bob Thornton is the one that really stands out to me. I don't think he does. I mean, he's okay. He doesn't do bad, but it's just like, I think anybody else in that role probably could have done better. I think Minnie Driver actually does a great job.
She is a really good voiceover actress anyways. She does a lot.
Yeah, and then Claire Danes is pretty good. I don't remember who does Ashitaka, but whoever he is, he's kind of like flat at the beginning of the movie, and I was like, really? Like, oh, come on, we've got to go find the fire demon, or whatever he says. But then as the movie went on, it got better, or I got more used to it or something. But yeah, I think the voice cast for Howl's Moving Castle, I'm getting them confused. Howl's Moving Castle is great because when I watched it in the Japanese version, I missed her name is Jean Simmons. She's a woman. She's the one who does the voice for Old Sophie. You guys have seen Howl's Moving Castle, right?
Yeah, but it's been a while.
She does the voice for Old Sophie, and she just steals the show for me. I think that's one of the reasons I love it so much. Is she just like, it's funny to hear like a 80-year-old woman say stuff like, you know, when you get old, all you want to do is sit and look at the scenery. It's like, you are old. Like, anyway, it's great. And I think Christian Bale does a fantastic job as a Howl. Because when I watched it in the Japanese, I was like, it's okay. It's okay. I miss Christian Bale. And of course, that's the role where we got the Batman voice. Because you guys remember the scene where she like finds him and he's like the big bird and like the little like cave in the castle.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Why are you
I get, yeah.
Answer me. Yeah, I can't do the Batman voice. But
I guess that is where he got it. Like that's strange. Like I said, I haven't seen Howl's Moving Castle in a long time, so.
I don't know, Blu-ray.
Chris, I got a great idea. Check this out. How does this sound for Batman?
That's maybe your
needs
most
to be a
impressive.
with a little bit more oomph. You kind of sound like you're just whispering.
I'm also very tired, guys.
Yeah. But anyway, so James, when you listen to this, here's my reasoning on why I would probably put Princess Mononoke as my favorite Miyazaki movie over Howl's Moving Castle now is twofold. One, rewatching the animation on Blu-ray, I can see like frames where like the people are far
I really
away,
appreciate the Blu-ray,
and they're kind of like not very not drawn very well because they're like they're little tiny and they're like all you see is their eyes, and it's very strange, and it's like it wouldn't be so bad except they linger on the shot too long, and so then that's all you see is just weird little faces or something.
Were Ghibli ones that they remastered on when Shout took them over? Okay.
Yeah, well no, because they just took the Disney ones and then repackaged them with like another new one special feature.
I guess that's true. And Disney does a good job of keeping that stuff unlocked. So okay.
But then, I mean, really, it comes down to I like the story for Howl's Moving Castle better. Like that's like the kind of story I like. But I think Princess Mononoke does a better job of telling its story. Because I think, just rewatching it, Howl's Moving Castle, because it's an adaptation from a book, there are a lot of things that will probably be explained in the book that they don't really explain in the movie. And, you maybe kind of get hints, but unless you look it up of, well, why does Sophie keep, she looks old sometimes and young other times, and, what's up with she time traveling, and there's a lot of, weird things going on, and they don't explain it all. And, I don't want to be spoon-fed everything, but I would at least have some little think of why is this or so. James can come and fight me, but
fight.
I think I'm gonna change it. I think Princess Mononoke is my favorite.
It's all right.
Miyazaki. Or they're tied. Whatever. I don't care.
Whatever mood you're in.
Whatever mood I'm in. Yeah.
Perfect.
But both are great movies, and you should go watch them. I also went and saw Mamma Mia 2. Here we go again. I saw.
You know what song
you just couldn't let it go, could you?
No.
You know what song of theirs gets stuck in my head all the time is Fernando.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That is in the movie.
Is it really?
Yep.
Oh my god. ABBA.
I like Take a Chance on Me because I remember it from the Get Smart movie with Steve Carell walking down the street with it.
I think
that's not in that movie.
I think you can say that about almost any ABBA song that you get stuck in your head.
Oh yeah.
I had Super Troopers stuck in my head for a full day. I think I woke up the next morning and I was like, Super Troopers, fuck.
But how is Here We Go Again? How did they handle the whole Meryl Streep thing? She did?
She did.
Oh God, they killed Meryl Streep.
I do love Lily Collins though.
Oh, she's
James. There we go.
Lily James. She does a great job. I
Does
think
she?
Honestly, the better parts of the movie are when she's in it.
Yeah, 'cause she's awesome.
And then
she does a really good job.
She's great. Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies.
And then Cher is Meryl Streep's mother.
Correct.
How does this work? I need to know.
She gave birth to Meryl Streep at some point.
I want to see that.
I question the validity. You sounded so sincere with that. I want to see that.
Yeah, Cher just gives birth to a fully formed Meryl Streep.
One of those.
Wait a minute. I'm your daughter. If I could turn back time.
No.
Violet.
Violet.
I mean, I liked it better than the first one a little bit. It's still pretty much in the same vein, so it's if you saw the first one and you hated it, you'll probably hate the second one. But if you have a kind of passing indifference toward it, you'll probably have a passing indifference toward this one.
It's a jukebox musical. It's not meant to elevate you up and above, really.
No, I mean I think.
Is it fun?
The first half is maybe okay, let's just kind of move this along. But I think the second half is a lot better, and the final number is awesome. I was just smiling walking around the theater, just all the energy.
You're
and,
did they trick me into liking this movie?
Just the different interactions with the characters, even though they're not saying anything to each other, they're singing the song. But it's very funny.
Cool.
I think they kind of learned their lesson on some of like who should sing, who shouldn't sing, because Pierce Brosnan doesn't really sing in this movie, or if he does, he's singing like with everybody else. Amanda Seyfried and Lily James do the majority of the singing.
They both can sing really well.
Cher sings one song by herself
because that's all they could afford,
probably. Yeah, and I think so. Some of the like
the Stellar Skateboard sing.
I don't know.
Stellan Skarsgård.
No, he does. None of the dads like sing except in a group
Dang.
ensemble kind of thing.
I want them to start a barbershop.
And it's the only song in it that wasn't an ABBA song. It was Summer Lovin'. No, I'm just kidding.
You had a blast with that joke, there, didn't you?
I did.
It
I just picture all the old guys just going, ba-doom, ba-doom.
But I think it still kind of has the same heart in it that the first one did, of kind of like the mother-daughter relationship. And even though Meryl Streep's character is dead.
Isn't she in the movie, though? Meryl Streep?
Yeah, she is.
They show her die?
No.
Oh.
She's thwarting terror.
I was hoping she was doing like a cliff dive and it's like Fernando and just she forgot to time the tide correctly.
It's a slow motion. Like
that's why I'm not allowed to have movies.
Slow motion, like when Hans Gruber falls off
yeah.
Nakatomi Plaza. Fernando!
Yeah. Like, okay, in this scene, Miss Streep, we're going to have you cliff dive to your death.
grabbing for something in the air.
There's some good parts to it.
Nice.
But overall, kind of meh.
If I had Movie Pass, it'd probably be a movie I use Movie Pass for.
Yeah.
If I had millions of dollars, I'd remake Mamma Mia 2 the way Ryan and I want to do it.
With Meryl Streep dying.
Yeah. See, you want a new Friday movie. I want this for some reason. Cool. Right on.
Okay. I think I'm good.
That's it?
Yep.
Zach?
Couple things.
What documentaries did you watch this week?
None. But real quick though,
Bullshit.
next Clint Eastwood article is going to be coming up
nice.
later in the week. I tackle 4 films in it. The one I wanted to talk about though on the show was the Eiger Sanction, which is a Clint Eastwood mountain climbing movie from the 70s, and
nice.
it's one of the earliest films he directed.
I love Cliffhanger.
Yeah. But so this film...
You know, I'm up on a mountain climbing, and there's like these terrorists or something, you know?
God damn it, they put the Stallone filter on again.
And at the beginning of the movie, I try to save my wife, you know, and she falls off the cliff!
Shut up, Sly! No, so this film seems to think it's a mixture between that episode of The Simpsons where Homer climbs the tallest mountain in Springfield mixed with a James Bond movie. So in the movie...
You sold me.
In the movie, Clint Eastwood is a professional assassin who's now retired and is a professor who refuses the sexual advances of his students, by the way, guys, because he don't play that way. But he still will smack her ass and tell her to get out of there and study. Anyway.
Like literally smack her ass.
Yes.
I thought you meant like smack her ass, like, get and study, whap!
No,
but no,
there's a full-on insert shot of him going smack and going, get to studying.
Now I don't want to see this movie anymore.
Trust me, it gets worse. He's pulled out of retirement for this
2 days retirement
shadow government organization to take out a group of people who murdered his friend in a European country. I think it was Berlin or something.
Germany.
But it's not important because and he gets roped into this partially because he meets a young African American woman on the street and takes her out on a date, and then they go back to his house and make love. But the whole time, Clint Eastwood can't help but observe that he's about to have sex with an African American woman, and it gets awkward fast. Like it's incredibly dated, and I love blaxploitation movies, but this one just felt weird watching it that week for some reason. And then though it goes into more fun territory because we get George Kennedy from Cool Hand Luke playing his friend,
the Naked Gun,
playing his friend who trains him to get him back into shape to climb the mountain because he's had a history with climbing mountains, guys. So he trains and he gets motivation from a female trainer who basically flashes him while she's up on a high cliff so that he has the motivation to climb up the cliff so he can see the boobs up close. Again, it's the 70s, and this was Clinton in the 70s. So he gets trained for this big mountain climbing expedition up up Eiger, which is basically like one of the higher peaks in that Swiss Alps area. And then over time, like he slowly figures out who the killer probably isn't, that he has to take out. And then the twist is, I don't actually want to spoil it because I think you might enjoy watching this film despite all the bad things I'm saying about it. Because George Kennedy is fun to watch in it too.
I like George Kennedy.
But and Clint's good too. And the one admirable thing that I love about this film, outside of who he cast and everyone doing a great job, is the mountain climbing scenes are beautifully shot. This is kind of like, this is the 70s, so it's not like necessarily like the safest thing to do. Like, the precautions probably weren't up to what they are today if, say, Nolan wanted to go do it for Inception. So it's pretty interesting. Like, if he had an IMAX camera, I'm sure he would have shot those sequences in IMAX. No different than what he did with Sully. So, but yeah, Eiger Sanction. I'll go a little more in my review and be a little bit more tactful about how I discuss this. But, like, yeah, this movie is incredibly out of date and tone deaf, but it's worth watching if you
Sometimes the charm of them outweighs that stuff.
See, normally they do. That's why Dirty Harry still works in my mind, but this one has a tougher time than Dirty Harry does. But anyway, you can check out a review of that, and also In the Line of Fire.
I like that movie.
I do too. And then also there'll be the recent reviews of Sully and 1517 to Paris.
Too.
Yeah. That's an interesting part of the article, but I'll send it to you when it's done. On the regular watching front, after we were done on recording last week, though, I rewatched Halloween on Blu-ray because I wanted to, and I still fucking love that movie. It's amazing. It's wonderful. Donald Pleasance is a genius. John Carpenter's a genius. Jamie Lee Curtis is amazing and a genius.
I'm afraid it was.
As a matter of fact, it was. Boogeyman. But yeah, and actually I liked watching it kind of like I tried it with the mono track and not just the true HD one, and I actually liked it because it kind of reminded me of how I used to listen to it on like this Magnavox tube TV that I had when I had to put it in the DVD player because it didn't have any stereo or anything. So it was always on that singular mono track. It was before they remastered it in HD. So it was pretty cool. And so I kind of got into a John Carpenter kick after that, and part of this was also motivated by the fact that I had an issue ordering my In the Mouth of Madness Blu-ray because Amazon, I had a pre-order on it, and then Amazon said it was out of stock, and I was like, oh, well, that sucks, then I'll just get it off a Shout or something because I'm not going to wait. And then they brought it back up and charged $34 for it, and they said, well, then I'm definitely not going to do it. No. And then, like, a couple days went by, and they dropped it down to $21, which I was like, okay, now we understand each other, Amazon. But I rewatched Prince of Darkness instead while I was waiting for this, and I love that movie. I put it on my 87 film explosion list. I might have put it higher if I had rewatched it right before that list because I actually enjoy how intelligent that film attempts to be in places. Because it's at the end of the day you're trying to mix quantum physics and the quantum. You're trying to mix science with religion, and it's hard, like in a horror film, because you really want to focus on the thing that would like scare you out of your pants. But there's intelligent discussions about how science and religion somewhat collide via mathematics and just the way everything plays out in that film. And Donald Pleasance is really good at it. Victor Wong from Big Trouble in Little China is in it too, and he's amazing. Also Dennis Dunn, who plays Jang from Big Trouble. But yeah, it's a fun film, and Alice Cooper plays a homeless zombie in it that's under control by the devil or the devil's avatar precursor or whatnot. But it's a very interesting film. So then I also rewatched The Fog, which is an early Scream Factory one. I had more appreciation for that film rewatching it than I did. Like, I always loved it, but like I really, really liked it this time.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
Is it anything like The Mist?
No.
This is about killer pirates in fog that come to shore to kill people.
The reason why I think I appreciated it more this time around is because it got to something that I was trying to think of if it still existed, which is like a cheesy yet still effective ghost story, and I think that's what that film ends up being. Like that John Houseman thing at the beginning where he's like, 5 minutes to midnight, 5 minutes to 12, time for one more story. And he tells the story of Antonio Bay. And I love the way it's shot. I love the way it starts off with that stopwatch, and then the timepiece, and then he closes it, and then he starts telling the story to the kids, and then it lifts up into that over-the-hill shot of Antonio Bay, and it's blue and black, and then you get the credits. It worked for me. I turned off the lights everywhere in where we're recording right now and watched it, and it was awesome. And then I rewatched Christine, which I had not seen since high school. And first of all, the Blu-ray they're putting out right now at Best Buy, it's only $10. It's the same version as the Twilight Time release because it's the same restoration and the same special features. So if you didn't get that Twilight Time version, it's pretty much just there. It just doesn't have the Twilight Time label on it. But anyway, rewatching Christine, it's definitely not the best Carpenter movie by any stretch of the imagination. If you don't know the story, it's a Stephen King story about a killer car and how it also drives the owner mad.
Are you afraid to drive now?
I was always afraid to drive. Now I feel more compelled to do it because maybe I'll fall in love with my car like Keith Gordon does.
Yes.
Yeah, because if you don't know, the car also turns Keith Gordon into an incredible jerk, a terrible person.
It's a really weird movie.
Yeah, I will say though, it's not so much a great horror movie as it is just a fun like concept and seeing how it's executed. Because like the way they do the restoration of the car when then the car fixes itself is really cool because it's that practical effects and they use like hydraulics to kind of reshape it and whatnot. And there's a special feature on the disc that talks about that. And it was actually a pickup because they weren't actually going to show it initially. But then John Carpenter was like, no, we should probably get that. And then they redid it. And also just the way in a lot of shots, the Christine hunting down people thing works, but in others it doesn't because then it looks clearly like they had to black out the windows to show that no one's driving that car. I like it enough, but it's not, I think there's a reason I haven't rewatched it in as long a time as I have. But no reason to not go check it out. It's only $10 at Best Buy, so you can't go wrong there for a really nice transfer.
I'll wait till Herbie Gets Murderous comes out.
Oh my God.
Me.
Can Universal like sub-license the rights to Herbie? Herbie Deadly Loaded. And then I think that's all I watched this week.
All right, buckle up, boneheads. You're going for a ride. I've been missing for a little Army of Darkness.
Oh, okay.
I've been missing for a little bit.
Get it? You like Campbell?
I did watch a documentary a couple weeks ago called To Hell and Back. It's the Kane Hodder story.
Oh,
Kane Hodder plays Jason in 4 films. He's basically a horror icon, great stunt guy, and it talks about his journey through Hollywood and how he really wanted to be a Hollywood stuntman. And his near-death experience for doing a stunt where he got lit on fire.
Mm-hmm.
They actually show footage from that. It's pretty bad. I think he had third-degree burns on like 50% of his body.
Yeah.
And it talks with his doctor, and so it's okay.
So do you want to become a stuntman now?
No, I'm good. But his passion is really cool, and how much he loves what he does is kind of fun. It reminded me a lot. They had a lot of shots. That's my problem with like the Cary Grant documentary. Is here's a shot of him like looking over and over again. Like looking. I'm looking in the distance, and I'm telling a sad story.
It's artistic.
But there is my favorite part of the documentary actually is when he talks about how he was bullied as a kid and how he overcame it. It's a really interesting story.
So you're a man, so you're not allowed to cry. But did you get close to breaking your man rule?
No, I did not cry at this one.
I heard it was very emotional.
It can be, yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't cry.
Okay,
but I mean, it's a great story, and he tells it really well.
And it was Dread Central that put it out.
I don't know. I got it on Xfinity. I think it's $4 right now.
Oh, okay, right on. Yeah, I've been meaning to.
Or maybe
pick
it's
it up
Bloody Disgusting did it. I don't remember.
Ooh, it might be that. But anyway, yeah, I've been meaning to pick it up.
You should check it out. I mean, it's $4. It's worth $4 if you're interested in,
Shoot,
what he has to say.
I want a Blu-ray of it because it'd be good for historical purposes alone to have that story.
So. I also saw Ant-Man and the Wasp, which...
What did you think?
It's a really fun movie. I think it's a nice cleanser after Infinity War because after I saw Infinity War in theaters, there's this weird like funk in the theater where everyone's dead and everyone's, oh man, Thanos wins, even though you kind of knew it was coming, but it's still shocking. And this one was just a fun movie. It's fun seeing Paul Rudd. I love Paul Rudd, and he never ages, and he's funny.
And it's witchcraft.
And yeah,
like Tom Cruise.
Yeah, exactly, like Tom Cruise.
They're all witches. I keep telling you guys this.
Yeah, it was a really fun movie. I think it's a little better than the first Ant-Man. I don't think it's in like Marvel's best movies, but it's a pretty fun movie, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think what it needs to be. Yeah.
I like the Louise stuff in the second one even more than I did the first one.
That stuff was pretty great.
Yeah. Or Louise's stories. I just like them. They're awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I think the stuff in the quantum realm was kind of a letdown. But I mean, I think the fights were really fun. The characters are fun, and yeah, it's a fun movie. It reminds me of the first Ant-Man, where it's a good movie, but it's not like Infinity War or Homecoming to me.
And it does end on a very positive note, unless you stayed for the end credits. Which it reminds you, shit happened 4 months ago.
Yeah, it got pretty hardcore there.
Yeah.
I also rewatched Game Night. I really love that movie. Mm-hmm. It's pretty silly.
This is me crying at the end of the cream.
Yeah, it's pretty great. So it's always fun to revisit movies that I think maybe didn't get a lot of play.
I wish
earlier in the year.
I wish they'd done a 4K of it, but
yeah, it's not necessary, I don't think. I watched this is a 4K that surprised me. I watched Starship Troopers in 4K, and the transfer is amazing. The problem that you run into from films from 1997 that have a lot of CGI in it is that when the 4K, I guess, makes it brighter, you can see a lot of the efficiencies in it. But the movie's still pretty fun. It's not my favorite Verhoeven movie, but pretty close. I mean, because it's goofy and it's way over the top.
It knows exactly what it is.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's no hiding what that film is. It's just we're fighting bugs.
I remember that poster all around theater lobbies when I was a kid, and I don't know why I was never really interested in it. But when I finally saw it when I grew up, I was like, "This is awesome." Why wasn't I interested in this?
It's an interesting film.
Yeah.
I watched The Greatest Showman in 4K. The movie's fun,
but
until you look up the history.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
although I'm willing to let that go because pretty much you expect them to pull that fanciful whatever.
The film is good. I mean, it's not. I loved La La Land way more.
Duh.
But I could see where it connected with audiences because the songs are pretty catchy.
This Is Me is really good.
And it's really bombastic and it's really colorful and it looks great in 4K. Hugh Jackman is always amazing. If you take it for the entertainment and you don't read history, then it's fun.
The opening 2-ish minutes where he's like right before he enters the tent, before he goes into his backstory, the way it's lit and the song they're singing and everything's shot, I'm like, this is badass. I love the way this is shot. Like, that's how you do a vaudeville movie today. Like, if you were going to do something about vaudeville, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
And also the song in the bar near the end is really cool.
No, I actually like the song with him and Zac Efron trying to get Zac Efron to be part of the.
That's a good one too.
Yeah, it's the way they shoot. Hugh Jackman's just an amazing actor and an amazing dancer, and he's really good at moving.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's why I think he's so great as Wolverine. I mean, he's really good at moving, and it's a fun movie. I mean, again, it's the story of P.T. Barnum and his show.
His greatest show.
I actually did go back and read, because I was interested that the girl that he discovered, she actually went on and performed a lot more shows. I think she did 90 of them, and he made a lot of money from that.
Yeah, there's a lot of flourishing.
Yes, a lot
in this film. Yeah.
But yeah, they're making a movie.
So yeah, they did it in Gangs of New York too, and I like that film. So
I watched the Nostalgia Critic review of the new Beauty and the Beast, and he was comparing the numbers in Greatest Showman to the ones in Beauty and the Beast, and he was saying how the ones in Showman are like much more dynamic, and the camera's moving, and you've got people are dancing and shit, and there's acrobatics or something. And then, at least in like the opening number of Beauty and the Beast, everybody's just kind of walking around, and there's not like a lot of flair or what do you call it when things are
pizzazz.
Pizza.
Razzle dazzle.
The word will come to me. I can't think of what it's called.
Words in the movie Chicago.
Spectacle. There you go.
There's not a spectacle to it.
Yeah, I think Beauty and the Beast is way better.
I think it's with Disney. They have to walk a fine line of like, we don't want to push anything too new down your throat, but we also want to make it look different enough.
Yeah.
So
I'll be shouting out some of my Cary Grants. I watched Notorious, which I haven't seen in a long time. Yeah. It's a great film. Yep. In it, Cary Grant plays kind of a hustler. I don't know how to best describe him. I guess a cheat. Like, he's always gambling money. And
I generalize it as rapscallion.
Yeah, and his wife in it is constantly thinking he's trying to kill her and to get her money because she's really wealthy. And every time she thinks that he's going to do something kind of shady, it's like he didn't. He says, "No, I just bought you these gifts with all the money I won at the horse track. What are you?" And it's really shot really cool because Hitchcock does it in a really cool way, where Cary Grant, you don't really trust him throughout the whole film. And then at the end, you're like, oh, it's Cary Grant. He's a good guy. And I watched a making of it on, I think it's a Warner Archives. And they have a making of it, and they talked about how in the original story, Cary Grant's character does kill the wife at the end.
Yeah.
But they said, no, we can't have Cary Grant kill someone. So they kind of changed the ending, but they shot it really cool. And basically, he tries to save her from falling out of the car instead of pushing her out of the car. He's like, "You're nuts. Why would I throw you out of the car?" And they just drive off. That's literally how it ends. A lot like North by Northwest. It just ends.
Look, Mr. Selznick, I think that if you see it right here, you'll see that this is a great way to end it because Mr. Grant is an asshole at the end. And it's something the audience has never seen.
I love Cary Grant, though.
Charade?
Oh, yeah. I was getting right to it. Charade. I love Charade.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen it in so long.
It's the best not Hitchcock movie.
And I forget how much fun he is in that movie. And, Hepburn and him, they're both, when you watch them on screen, you fall in love with both of them. Mm-hmm. And there's some, the chase through the train station at the top is, it's pretty great. And even, because he's another one where he's kind of a shady guy. You're like, what does this dude's play? Mm-hmm. And he keeps on changing his name throughout it. And then, she wants to, who's she meeting at? What's his official title? It's like he's a...
dude.
Yeah, like U.S. Embassy, U.S. official guy. And like Walter Matthau is great in it. That's a great little turn. But I love when Audrey Hepburn wants to see the U.S. consulate. I forget what he is. He's like maybe the mint guy with money.
Liaison or something.
Yeah, and she opens the door and he's sitting in there and has a goofy look on his face. It's a great film.
Yeah.
It's one that moves really quickly. Mm-hmm. And he's also implicated in murders in that. And yeah, Charade is awesome.
That's not a Hitchcock movie.
No, it's
feels like one.
The director of that guy, look this up too.
I never remember. I just remember that it reminds me of a Hitchcock movie every time I see it.
It's in public domain too, so make sure you get the Criterion version because the Criterion is like a restoration of it.
Oh, so there is a Criterion.
There is a Criterion of it.
Well, they didn't have that at Barnes and Noble.
Which one did you go to?
The one that's like down the street here.
Oh no! So which one you need to go to? I'll tell you the right one to go to.
Oh, okay.
It's in Littleton. The Littleton Barnes and Noble has a whole
Is that the one by the Draft House?
No. So by Southwest Plaza.
Oh, okay.
If you go there, they literally have. When you go in and take a right, their whole right wall is nothing but Criterion. So I got Sullivan's Travels. I haven't watched it yet, but I got that one this last time. And they have like His Girl Friday, The Philadelphia Story, like all these great Cary Grant stuff.
Just the Cary Grant.
Yeah, well,
over here.
Well, no, they also have stuff. The Silence of the Lambs is great on.
I was tempted to get that one.
It's
I was like,
beautiful on.
Saving Private Ryan kind of movie where it's like you don't watch it like every day.
No,
says you.
But I also take chances.
I love Silence of the Lambs.
Hanging out in his basement,
right?
Like,
a little scary.
I'm glad you're right.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of 1940 films, so I will take chances on Criterions if I hear good things. So right now, I still need to watch My Darling Clementine, which is a John Ford kind of shoot out of the OK Corral. And then I got Sullivan's Travels, which is in the AFI's Top 100 Films. I've never seen it. Don't know.
I've never heard of it.
And so I also got like Woman of the Year. There's Katharine Hepburn.
I love Woman of the Year.
And so there's a lot of ones I'll take chances on for there. And they have a great, like, if you like silent films, The Kid is a great Criterion.
A lot of the Criterion still half off.
Yeah, I think for a little bit.
I think till the end of the week.
Yeah, I'll look it up. I have an account.
The Great Dictator Criterion is one of my favorite.
Oh yeah,
so
that's great stuff.
They pull all the stops out for that one. Also, there is one Grant film. I don't know if you were going to talk about it, but you did post about it. Arsenic and Old Lace should be Criterion.
I'm going to get to it.
Okay, nice.
Still my thunder. I also rewatched Scream 4 again. I'm going back to my wife. I don't watch things enough, and Scream 4 is pretty fun. I forgot how cool the opening is, where it's like 5 different starts to the movie.
Yeah,
it's pretty fun.
I remember walking out satisfied.
I didn't remember. It's super violent. I don't remember it being as violent as it was when I watched it.
It's interesting because, like, I don't
not in a bad way. I love it. But
I don't remember if Wes's My Soul to Take film was before or after that one. But I like that film more than other people. It's not great.
I think it's after.
Yeah, it's not great, but it's like I like that he was trying to still do new things and not fall back on franchise.
It's kind of fun seeing those characters again. I think Courtney Cox's Gail Weathers is great.
Yeah.
David Arquette is great as Dewey.
Emma Roberts is really good. I'm just not a big fan of the character.
No,
but I still like her in it.
It works. I watched Skyscraper, which is with Dwayne Johnson.
How'd you like
it? And it is so. It's a lot like Rampage, which I also watched this week. My little boy loved Rampage, but where it's totally stupid, but at the same time I'm really entertained by it because it's so dumb.
Okay,
and I get it. Like it's a movie about a super smart skyscraper.
My biggest problem with it is that it took itself too seriously at times, in my opinion.
I never got it. It took itself seriously.
No.
All.
In terms of like how they're speaking to each other, like none of them kind of like. There's not really many cracked jokes in that movie that I remembered. What I remember is like him really being concerned about his kids, which is great. Yeah. But like, I don't know. It didn't do the same thing Rampage did for me. Like Rampage felt more fun.
It's still a fun movie. Yeah. Whatever. I'll get it.
Cool.
Because I like The Rock, so I usually watch most of his stuff and own it.
So do you think The Rock is trending up, trending down?
I think he's pretty consistent, actually.
Steady plateau.
Yeah. I don't...
Steady plateau.
We call it the Cruise Mountain.
He's another one. I don't really think he puts out bad movies. I think other ones have different varying forms of quality, but...
They're watchable.
What's like the best and the worst of The Rock's movies?
So I think The Rundown's his best film. It's a great movie. It's with Sean William Scott. It's like maybe his second film. And the worst...
Baywatch?
I like Baywatch more than The Tooth Fairy. Maybe The Tooth Fairy.
I guess that's fair.
Maybe The Tooth Fairy.
You know what?
Doom is okay. But that one's like...
I rewatched Get Smart a couple weeks ago, and
he's great in Get Smart.
How good
that
movie is, and how good he is in that movie.
Oh yeah.
See, I didn't see The Rundown until after Get Smart, but Get Smart's the movie that convinced me that this guy could.
Yeah,
do
so
a
I'd probably
job.
say The Rundown and The Tooth Fairy.
I would say Scorpion King may be also a contender for down, but he's not the.
But that's his first movie though, and it's not a bad movie
and
either.
He's not the problem with the movie.
No,
the movie's the problem.
It's a watered down Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah,
it's all right. Like Yeah, I'll have to really think about that now that I think about what his worst one is.
I smell another series of articles coming.
Yeah, well, I got to finish my other ones. I also watched Hotel Transylvania 3.
You could call it Solid as a Rock.
Oh, shit. Why are you giving me more stuff to do?
Shut it down. We're done.
Hotel Transylvania 3, which I'm a really big fan of these movies.
Mm-hmm.
And in this one, too, the animation is a lot more goofy. And I think the Dracula character is pretty goofy in it.
More cartoony.
Much
more poppy and
a little more like his Samurai Jack stuff.
Yes.
But again, these movies are pretty fun. I actually laugh at them, and my little guy loves it because Dracula farts in it. But there's this great scene with him where Dracula's trying to get dates, and Mavis comes up to it's like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm cleaning. I'm just going around here cleaning. And it's manic and it's awesome and. I love those movies.
I love the woman on the other end of the app who's just like yelling to the phone like, "Cats, you want cats?"
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of them, and I don't plan on it.
The first one's awesome.
I was gonna ask. So I know from the trailers that he's like falling in love with Mrs. Van Helsing or something. Do they get together?
They do. They do spoilers.
Wow.
Oh, come on.
Oh, I'm so surprised.
I didn't see a trailer for the third one until so I saw it clean.
Mm-hmm.
Did they show what Grandpa Van Helsing looked like in the trailer, or was that kind of left a secret?
What do you mean? Oh yeah,
Robot
yeah,
husk.
yeah.
It's disturbing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Mel Brooks plays Dracula's dad, Vlad, and he's pretty funny in it.
Because he was in the second one.
Yeah,
yeah.
And the second one's fun too. I mean, I think they're all pretty fun.
Yeah. When I saw Mel Brooks' name in the credits, I was the only one who applauded. I was like,
So how does Miss Van Helsing feel about her boyfriend or whatever being a vampire?
Well, she tries to kill him at the beginning because she's been lied to by her grandfather.
I'm so surprised.
or at least trained to think a certain way.
Yes, and then Dracula's charm wins her over,
and love conquers all.
So
yes.
does she become a vampire?
No,
no,
because so Mavis, Dracula's daughter, is married to Andy Samberg's character, who's a dude.
Yeah, so they just they're just like, hey, yo, monster, I'm a regular human being. Let's do this.
Yeah, pretty much. It's fun. Like, they're really fun. I would recommend watching them. I think they're on Netflix. I think they're pretty great.
I have the first one on Blu-ray.
Yeah, I mean, I have them on Blu-ray because they might take them off Netflix. Probably not because Adam Sandler's like Netflix guy, but
Steve Buscemi and Molly Shannon's wolf parent characters are still my favorite.
That's fun.
So we were drugged out and slept in the closet for 3 days. We're booking it for next year's vacation.
Yeah, they're fun movies. They're not going to be Toy Stories or anything, but if you want to just kind of escape and watch goofy cartoons for like an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, they move quick.
Yeah, the Dracula
I'll just watch
stuff.
Howl's Moving Castle again.
Yeah, and they can do that too.
The third time
I rewatched The Post. That Post is great. If you haven't seen it, make sure you check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Mission Impossible Fallout is one of my favorite Tom Cruise movies because watching that film, I swear I kept on like inching forward because everything was just crazy and awesome, and every scene set up to be bigger. And you're like, how can it even get better? And it does. Like the bathroom fight. Oh my gosh. Everything about it was awesome. I love that movie.
Reloading your arms is my new favorite thing.
Yeah,
also, that mustache was magical, and it was worth it.
I don't know about that. I guess my thing with the movie is it did feel like it kind of dragged on for a ways there at the end. Like, because, I mean, you had so many big action pieces, and then we get to, like, the whole helicopter chase.
which was awesome.
I mean, it was good, but if it had been shorter, I think it would have packed more of a punch for me. And also, like, come on. I know they're going to save the world. I know nuke's not going to go off. But, I don't know. I think the ending was kind of weird. How it just kind of tied up everything real fast. And then just...
The film, though, went on some really cool ways where Ethan Hunt was picturing the worst possible outcome of everything he's doing.
Yeah.
Which I thought was awesome.
Hospital room
yeah.
that was good.
And the scene too where, they're doing the extraction and you think it's really happening and he's killing cops and that Ethan Hunt could actually be like the big bad guy. I'm like, this is pretty interesting.
My favorite moment is still when Henry Cavill's interrogating or talking to the guy they got. I can never remember his name, but he's the guy from Rogue Nation. And
Shaw or something.
Shaw, yeah. I didn't see Rogue Nation. I just knew he was in it. But anyway, he's talking to him, and then it's revealed he's actually talking to Peg. Alec Baldwin comes up behind, gets him to fire his gun only to reveal it's blank, and he's like, "Oh, you were doing so well up to now."
Yeah. No, the movie's awesome. It's one of my favorite movies of the year, and it's one of my favorite Tom Cruise movies. It's a series that just keeps on going up.
Yep.
Good for them.
I would agree.
And I also watched Arsenic and Old Lace, which is amazing.
Oh yeah.
Cary Grant in it, his performance is all over the place, and it's amazing. And it's a super dark movie about old ladies who kill people and then bury them in the cellar.
Yeah, it's not quite slapstick what he's doing.
It's kind of slapstick though.
But I would say at the same time though, like the darkness kind of for me it looms as like, yeah, this is dark. Oh yeah, those old ladies are killing people.
Yeah. So the premise is Cary Grant marries this lady and he takes them to see her aunts and they live across the street and he finds out that his aunts poison lonely old men because they're lonely. And his brother is also a murderer and changes his face constantly, and everyone keeps on saying he looks like Boris Karloff because the play Boris Karloff was really the bad guy.
Yep.
And so there's this really great moment, and Cary Grant keeps on running all over the place, and he's like, woo, woo, like all the oh, it's amazing. There's a scene at the end where he's trying to get people not to go in the cellar because that's where the 12 bodies are buried. and he's talking to the cops, and he's running up and down the stairs, and everything he does is like spot on comedic wise. My little boy was playing while I was watching it, and he's like, "What's so funny, Daddy?" I'm like, I can't explain why it's so funny, but it's just everything he does is great, and it's Frank Capra, so it has a really cool feel to it. There's a couple scenes where they turn off all the lights and they're moving bodies into the basement, so the only light is coming from the basement, so you see the like silhouettes of like shadows, and it's pretty amazing. And I at the Barnes and Noble in Littleton, I got that there, so they have DVDs. I hardly ever get DVDs, but Cary Grant's movies, not all of them are on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
So I found 2 4-picture sets from Turner Classic Movies, so Warner Brothers. So 8 movies, and they were $9.99 each. So I got both of them, plus I got like another 20% off on them. So I ended up paying like $22 for 8 movies.
Which is not bad.
No, not at all. And the transfers are pretty good. I mean, there's a couple imperfections in it, but I can live with it.
Because that was just like when they restored those films initially. That was the technology it was up to that point with restoration stuff.
Yeah.
Because now it's definitely different. But those, like, I still have the Errol Flynn stuff and some of the old Bogart stuff and the Gangster collection there.
Yeah.
Those are remasters and they still look wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little imperfections, and it would look great on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
But they're watchable, which is
Arsenic and a Low Lace always feels like a demented joke to me by
That's
Fate
weird that
because,
isn't on Blu-ray.
Yeah, it should be, but also just like I love that film, but I also am just like, if only Karloff could have been in.
Yeah, well, I was reading that he wasn't allowed to.
No, it was
because he was still on Broadway.
He was still on Broadway, and also like even if that wasn't the case, I don't feel like they would have cast him anyway because they didn't even get Basil Rathbone for one of his Broadway performances in the movie version, like in the 40s. So like it's like they really tried to just stick with their stable of actors.
Yeah, and it's a pretty great movie, and it's a different way of seeing Cary Grant, where he's still funny, he's still the movie star, but he's really manic in it, and he's concerned because his whole family's crazy, and he doesn't want to be crazy too, and he's acting crazy, and it's brilliant.
I'd say it's one of the earliest horror comedies.
Oh yeah,
because
there's some parts that are pretty dark in it. I mean, when he's talking, old Mr. Hodges who's underneath the window in like the chest.
Yeah,
and so his brother, Cary Grant's brother, puts a dead guy in there too.
Yep,
but he didn't know that. So his other brother thinks he's Teddy Roosevelt. So he didn't know that his other brother buried the other body in the Panama Canal in the basement. So he opens up the chest and he looks in, and it's a different body. And he's amazing. He doesn't say a word. He just goes, and he's like, "Oh, it's amazing! It's an amazing film. Everyone should definitely check it out. Arsenic and Old Lace is amazing."
Yeah, Warner, please put that on a Blu-ray, or
Blu-ray.
give it to Criterion, please.
I think that's a good.
It's a Capra film, guys.
That's ripe for Criterion.
Yeah.
And the last thing I watched was Robin Hood Men in Tights. I love that movie too. It's another one I remember growing up.
He's good. Ryan's good.
He's good. Unlike most Robins, I can speak with an English accent. He's good.
Interesting name, Latrine. Yeah, we had to change it when we just came here. You used to be shitheads.
Tracy Ullman's great.
She's wonderful.
Yeah, I just adore that movie.
Tracy Ullman was so huge.
Yeah, and movies like that they probably can't make anymore. I wish they could. I don't know if people appreciate spoofs anymore.
I think we're.
I think epic movies ruined them.
I think we're also too smart for it. Maybe not. I don't know, because I think Mel Brooks' films work generation spanning. Men in Tights though is like it's fun for me to watch also because like if you watch that Shout put out a big collection of his, and they have a pilot for a show he never got to do called Something's Rotten, and it was about the Robin Hood story in sitcom form. And a lot of those jokes transfer into Robin Hood Men in Tights, and it's pretty neat.
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, I even love the blind guy when Robin comes up to him and is like, "Lincoln, what are you doing?" He's on watch. He says, "I'm guessing. I guess nobody's coming." It's funny.
Oh no, you lost your arms in battle, but you grew some nice boobs.
and
Black Sheriff. Why not? He worked in Blazing Saddles.
Yeah, and I think Cary Elwes is so great.
Oh, yeah.
I wish he did more comedies because he is so spot on in his delivery, and he understands it.
One of my favorite gags in that is a throwaway moment. It's when the abbot is coming to marry marry the sheriff and whatnot, and you just hear a guy go, "Hey, abbot!"
I hate that guy. Yeah, it's pretty great.
Makes me want to watch that movie.
Yeah. Richard Lewis is really great in it.
Isn't Patrick Stewart at the end?
Yeah, he's King John.
It's good to be
King Richard. Thank you.
It's good to be the king. I can't do Stewart either. Don't worry. Gotta get
do much, Zach.
The most outdated joke in that movie, in my opinion, is honestly when Dave Chappelle's like, "Well, gotta get pumped," and he pumps his shoes.
My full name is Will Scarlett O'Hara. It's funny.
Little John, help! I can't swim.
Hey, don't let his name fool you. In real life, he's pretty big. It's just dumb, and it's awesome.
Yeah, leave us alone, Mel Brooks.
I even laugh at when they're talking to the fox to deliver the message, and he says, "Go," and it's like, meow, meow, meow. Like the noise it makes is hilarious. Yeah, good stuff.
Mel Brooks, amazing.
Yep,
amazing film too.
This week on Real Nerds Podcast, we saw Christopher Robin. Corinne, should people go see Christopher Robin?
Yeah, sure, go see. I mean, it's a charming movie. It's adorable. I think it will feel very familiar to people, both in terms of the story of like the workaholic dad who just needs to rediscover like what it means to be a kid and spend time with his family, but also like Winnie the Pooh and Tigger are in it, and it's just oh my gosh, you guys, I didn't realize how much I missed those characters. Until like Tigger sang his song, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so many memories. But yeah, I mean, sure, go see it. Go see what take your kids. It's a fun movie. I mean, if you see it, you're not gonna hate yourself. But if you don't see it, you're not really missing out. You can wait till it's on Disney streaming, whatever.
Disney 4K.
Disney 4K.
Zach?
So full disclosure, I ate a bag full of raw onions while watching this movie, so the water streaming from my face was not me crying. No, I'm just kidding. This movie, like, hit my utter fucking core, from childhood to just things I appreciate, like, that warm my heart, are really, like, are stuffed into here. Like, this is a very, like, this is a film that I can't wait to watch with my nephew when he's like 1 or 2, you know, like, because it'll, even 3 and 4, like, it'll appeal right to him, and everything's beautiful about it. And Jim Cummings' voice performance is absolutely stunning. Ewan McGregor's great in this film. Mm-hmm. I think Mark Forster did a really good job in telling a story that I really honestly didn't want told when I first heard about it. So it's one of, there better not be great movies near the end of the year, because I really want this to stay on my top 10.
Yeah, I love this film. A lot to piggyback off Zach. Jim Cummings, to me, is one of my favorite voice actors. Mm-hmm. I love Darkwing Duck. Yeah, Darkwing Duck is my favorite Disney series cartoon. Mm-hmm. But
you didn't grow up with Recess.
I'm good. Because I'd rather have the Terror That Flaps in the Night.
Yeah, that's fair.
But Jim Cummings, and as soon as he slips into Pooh, there's something that happens to me on like a emotional level. I don't know how to explain. And there's a scene in it where Pooh just gets back to the 100-acre wood, and Christopher Robin comes down. They sit down, they talk about life, and it freaking wrecked me, because Pooh just says like the most simple things, but it means so much, and that's why I really loved this film. And as simple as doesn't a balloon make you happy? And it cuts it to its core, and it's beautiful. And I was a little apprehensive when I first saw the characters design, but in this movie they're so lifelike and so stunning that it's
any hesitation I had was gone from the moment this film started.
Yeah, here's a trailer for Christopher Robin.
Oh, I do like a party.
Come on, Pooh.
What should happen if you forget about me?
Silly old bear. I won't ever forget about you, Pooh. I promise. Not even when I'm 100.
We should be working this weekend, Robin.
But I promised my wife and daughter I'd take them away this weekend.
All hands on deck.
You won't be coming to the cottage? Well, it can't be helped.
Your life is happening now, right in front of you.
What to do, what to do, what to do. What to do indeed.
Pooh?
Christopher Robin.
No. The tree I remember was in the countryside, not here in London. There's no opening.
I suppose it's where it needs to be.
Well, it's a silly explanation.
Why, thank you.
Pooh, why are you here?
Oh, yes, I need your help. I've lost all of my friends.
Let's get to the bottom of this. Look up, Pooh. Here I come. It would appear that I am stuck.
Have you just eaten honey?
I have not just eaten honey. I wonder which way.
I always get to where I'm going by walking away from where I have been.
Do you?
That's the way I do it.
Hello, Eeyore.
Christopher Robin, it's you playing again.
Let's go and see if we can find Piglet. I've already stayed far too long. Hello, everyone. It's Christopher Robin! So nice to see you all again.
Why, thank you.
Silly old bear. I was wrong about work. I was wrong about everything, and I've got to get back to my family.
Farewell, Christopher Robin. I would have liked it to go on for a while longer. Perhaps it's our turn to save Christopher. You must be Madeline.
Wait, you're the bearer of my father's drawings?
Yes. Do you know where he is?
I do.
Let's bounce! I just saw the most preposterous imposter. Look at him.
Digger! Eel! Piglet!
If anyone wants to clap, now is the time to do it.
Oh, bother. Oh, dear, dear.
I don't remember being cheery.
People say nothing is impossible, but I do nothing every day.
No, Pooh, that's not the... Oh, never mind.
So, I really did not want this film to happen when it first got announced, because I was like, no, please don't do that. Like, I don't know why, but I have a feeling you'll never do it right. But when they announced Mark Forster, I was like, this is going to feel dark and grim, like a Terrence Malick movie about childhood. And sure enough, the visual palette reminds me a lot of a Malick film, but it's so beautifully handled. The 100 Acre Wood looks amazing in this film.
Yeah, it's... I wasn't sold on it until I saw the first trailer. And then I saw the first trailer and I was sold on it. And yeah, it's grim and kind of really the tone visually is really bland until Christopher Robin starts understanding what he's been missing in his life, and it starts lightening up, like the flowers start popping. I noticed that right away, and I think it was supposed to be, because that's why I think the red balloon stood out so much.
Yeah.
And when I was watching the credits, some company was in charge of the red balloon. That's all they did. It's literally called the red balloon special effect.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's
Wait,
amazing.
That was an effect?
Yeah.
They didn't even have a real red balloon?
Yeah.
That's kind of sad.
What's interesting is, like, since we're in spoiler territory, the story, like, the trailer does a good job of kind of setting up what the story is, but the story, like, the way it paces itself is not necessarily what the trailer's kind of like putting out there to a degree.
Yeah, and you know, the tragedy of Christopher Robin being in World War II and things like that is really interesting.
Well, I think that's hard to put in the trailer.
Yeah, and I mean, really, I think my only complaint about the film is I didn't like the villain at Winslow. He was a little too over the top for me.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, and then and Haley Atwell didn't really have anything to do.
Other than be freaked out by talking stuffed animals.
Yeah, and that part was fun.
Yeah.
But leading up to that, you're saying, oh, she doesn't like her husband. And I guess, too, the only reason he's there is because he's trying to be selfless and make sure no one loses their job. So,
thus giving him much... There's so much to love about Christopher Robin, even when he's not the most fun character in the movie.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons why I love this film, is because it doesn't... I feel like when you try to do I'm going to call it the hook story, which is bring these characters back years later, there's always a tendency to make them very unlikable, but I feel like Ewan McGregor is incredibly likable even when he has to say rough things, you know?
But what I loved about this film, I'm not a fan of Hook at all, but what I loved about this film is Pooh went out and looked for him.
Yeah.
Because he lost all his friends.
Yeah.
And it was so simple, and he really didn't lose them. But it's Christopher Robin trying to reconnect, and he lost who he was. And I mean, I even like teared up at the scene where Christopher Robin comes home. He doesn't want to play gin rummy, so he runs across the street and he lays down, and Pooh's laying on the bench too. And there's something beautiful about that. I don't know, I can't describe it, but they both sit up.
Movements kind of
exactly, and it's just wonderful. And it's cool too because they weren't like figments of his imagination. It's these characters are real, and they are magical. That's what I love. But kind of Disney's rediscovering is the magic of Disney, which I think's been missing for a little bit in the early 2000s. But where they're bringing back, Beauty and the Beast and the Toy Story stuff and everything in there. Disney has this magic quality to them that I don't think any other studio can replicate. And it's because you love the characters. Saving Mr. Banks was my favorite film a few years ago because I love those characters. I love the magic of what Disney brings, and I thought Christopher Robin really captured that again.
So I cried many times in this film, but there are two specific moments that I think are some of the most effective for me in just terms of my personal level, but they're also very just powerful, like, moments. First is when, like, it's after Christopher Robin's grown up, and we cut back to Pooh and kind of his daily routine in the gloomy 100-acre wood. Yeah. And sure enough, it's a straight up homage to the first moment we interact with Winnie the Pooh in animated form in Disney history, that then kinetically kicks into what the story's going to be.
Yeah.
And I loved watching the up-down the stoutness exercise, which is, it's something my mom would sing to me.
Yeah. And
so it hit me hard.
And it's cute that he's wearing like the same get-up. I mean, it looks more lifelike, obviously, but
someone ate the honey.
There's little callbacks that it's just. The movie's really good.
But the second moment, and it's a little bit more into the journey where Christopher Robin has gone back into the 100-acre wood, and he talks about letting people go for his job, and Pooh asks a question that...
Did you let me go?
Did you let me... Oh my God, I fucking lost it, and the person who was sitting 2 seats next to me must have been angry as fuck that I was blubbering like an idiot.
I don't blubber. I just like my eyes well up. I mean, I also had it when Christopher Robin says those papers in my briefcase, the most important thing in the world to me. And Pooh just asks him straight up, says, "Is it more important than your daughter?" And I, whoa.
Yeah.
And I mean, the character of Christopher Robin needed Winnie the Pooh to tell him that it's not important. Yeah. What you think is important, that's not what's important in your life, and it's your friends and it's your family, and it's a really wonderful moment. And like I said, when he sits down on that log after he has it out with Winnie the Pooh, because Winnie's just Winnie the Pooh. He's trying to look at the bright side of things, and that moment just got me.
Also, like all the other characters in the 100-acre wood are wonderful here. Like Tigger's great. Brad Garrett as Eeyore is awesome. I love that. Thanks for kidnapping me is a wonderfully hilarious line.
He seemed like so much more depressed
than
he was in the anime. Like,
yeah.
He's like borderline suicidal. Like, oh, whatever. I guess I'm just going to die.
Doesn't matter. Going off the cliff.
Yeah. Oh, here comes the waterfall. Yeah. And then the waterfall is only this big. It's pretty
one of my favorite, like, Ewan McGregor moments is like, oh, yeah, I forgot. I grew up. But then
Peter Capaldi was Rabbit.
Yeah,
he was a good rabbit too.
I didn't realize that until after like the credits start.
Yeah,
like,
me too. Because it's like one of those things I recognize the voice, and the whole time I go, "Where do I know that voice from?" Then I saw,
Peter Capaldi, also in Paddington.
Yeah,
1 and 2.
Yep.
So he's just dealing in the bear movies, guys.
Yeah. No.
And then I almost had an issue with this film until I didn't give a crap about it, but. Tigger's song is technically shoehorned in, but I don't care. Like it felt weird to me. Maybe I need to rewatch it, but it felt like
I think so because he's just introducing himself to the daughter.
I guess that's true.
And Tigger always sings a song when he introduces himself to people.
That's true, but it like I said, it doesn't matter because I just wanted to hear that song again too. So it served me just fine. And also,
I love the reveal too, where they're trying to find his daughter, and his wife is saying, "So you're telling me that these animals talk?" And she's replaying his stories. He says yes, and then they literally just hit the windshield. It's great.
It's fun stuff. The problem I had with it, and I love Ewan McGregor, I think we spend too much time with him being annoyed with Pooh.
Yeah.
And that was something that really bugged me, is that he hasn't seen Pooh in, 30 years or something?
Yeah.
And he's not even like, oh my gosh, like maybe like a little bit. He's like, oh my gosh, you're here, you're real. Like, but then he goes straight into just being annoyed.
Yeah.
He's like, what are you doing here? Like, you're interrupting my life. I've got other stuff to do. And
it feels natural in the sense that, to me, that you haven't seen that world for 30 years and haven't really thought about it. Of course, it's going to kind of hit you like a ton of bricks.
I don't know. I get what you're saying.
More of him like being
accepting of it.
You're real. Like what
Yeah.
is, like embracing more of like the magic of it.
I agree.
Like we see other characters later in the movie are like, there was a talking donkey.
Yeah.
Like the donkey was staring at me.
When the cop and the taxi driver and the guy's pretty great. You saw it too.
No,
I didn't see it. I don't know what you're talking about.
But yeah, I think the best parts of the movie were seeing the characters in the 100 Acre Wood.
Yeah.
And seeing what Christopher Robin means to them, and that whole speech by Pooh of like, I looked for you because you were the one who always came, and like anytime something happened, you were the one who got us out of our troubles. And it was just like there were really good poignant moments, but I was just annoyed. I'm like, okay, I don't need the workaholic dad. I want to spend time with Pooh.
Because he even says, when he asks, he's like, what are you doing here? Don't you show up in Sussex? He says, I guess I'm where I'm needed. I'm like, oh, it's adorable.
And then I like the way they incorporated some A.A. Milne and animated Disney stories into the plot itself. Walking Through the Fog was a good one for me because it was a great way to get them on a catch-up moment emotionally, but also it's one of those like classic animated like stories for them. And the Heffalump Trap, which is more of a homage to the books, or maybe the more recent film. I haven't seen the most recent Winnie the Pooh released animated film that they did like 6
that one's
years
great
ago.
The Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah,
that one's great.
Although, how much did it rain that it went from he rose to the top of like an 8-foot ditch?
It's an imaginary forest. Anything can happen, man. The lighting changes very suddenly because it's magic.
I guess so.
But anyway, I love this film.
Yep.
Yeah, it was hilarious to see like grown men and women like holding all the stuffed animals in the various scenes, especially there at the end when they're all like, hands full of, yep, these are my scene partners.
Oh, and speaking of which, McGregor's great at acting against CGI characters.
Well, he should be after all that time in the Star Wars trilogy.
He should be, but it takes some believability, and he's pulled it off really well.
He's mastered it by now.
He's a great actor.
Suffered through Attack of the Clones.
It's a great mashup trailer where they show they have instead of Winnie the Pooh, it's General Grievous, and he just goes like, Pooh, General Kenobi.
Next week on the Real Nerds Podcast, we're seeing The Meg.
Oh, it is The Meg?
Yeah. What else is coming out next week?
Black Klansman.
Yeah, we're seeing The Meg.
You don't want to see
Klansman.
You don't want to see that one?
I do want to see it, but I'd rather see The Meg.
Well, yeah.
I'd rather see Jason Statham fight a huge ass shark.
I want to see Denzel Washington's son fight the Klan.
Yeah, I hate the name's awful. I think it originally was called Megalodon, and then they changed it to The Meg, if I remember it. And it's Stephen Summers, right?
No, it's John Turteltaub.
John Turteltaub. So National Treasure guy. Gotta get the Constitution. So I mean,
I'm gonna steal that shark.
I think it looks fun. There's another movie that's coming out too, but
you could always do a double feature.
Yeah.
Nah, no. Black Klansman might not be the most fun discussion compared to The Meg.
I'll probably see Black Klansman because the trailer's interesting to me.
Mm-hmm. And Adam Driver's in it.
Yeah.
Maybe he's wearing...
And apparently it emotionally wrecked Topher Grace to the point where he re-edited The Hobbit.
Yes. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Corinne, as always, thank you for coming on. Thank you for the kind words. Until next time. Bye. Thank you for listening to this episode of Real Nerds Podcast. Real Nerds Podcast is a production of Nebulous Visions Multimedia. Thank you to Sparks Mandrill and Plan 9 Studios for our kick-ass theme song. Also, if you're in the Denver area and you're looking for a cool place to see movies, we see them at the Alamo Draft House in Littleton and now also in Sloan's Lake. Thank you to Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics for supplying us with all our comic needs, especially you, Andrew. You know who you are. And a big shout out to James's mom. I'm giving you an electronic hug that you can feel through the airwaves. Thanks for listening, and have a nice day.